Hi everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Staycation Bible School. I'm here in my backyard, so I've got my shades on. It's bright and sunny. I might still have my pajamas on.
And Jesus.
Max may still have his pajamas on. They may be Santa Claus pajamas, but
and they have long sleeves.
And they're long sleeved. He's a little crazy, but whatever. So it's so bright out, you probably can't even tell that I have my little candle lit, or turned on actually. But remember that these candles represent the light of Jesus, the light of Christ, and that Jesus is always with you. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Yesterday we talked about something that we wanted to learn, and I think I said I wanted to learn to be more patient. And today we were supposed to mention something that a hope that we have for today. So my true hope is that you guys are all enjoying the Bible school material and getting the most out of it. Even though we can't be at the church having a good time together, I'm hopeful that you guys all enjoy yourselves and learn some things, and you're excited to do some of these activities, and learn more about Jesus. So you'll be seeing Charlotte again. She did a really good job with her video, so I was super jealous of how great a job she did, but I'm doing the best I can.
And it's not good to be jealous.
It's definitely not good to be jealous. Thank you, Sidekick Max.
Welcome.
Learned
Primary,
something.
Primary mom.
I learned something already. So, we're going to start by saying a prayer. So if everyone wants to bow their heads and close their eyes, we'll say a prayer. God of water and storms, guide us as we learn today. Help us to find joy as we play with water, and comfort us as we explore the storms of our lives. We are thankful for this journey as we learn about following you. We know that sometimes we struggle to have the faith to get out of the boat to walk on the water. We are grateful for Jesus' hand reaching towards us to help us have faith to get out of the boat. Amen. All right, I'll see you in a couple minutes for a quick little activity. Okay, we're going to play a quick little opening game of Would You Rather. You may have played this game before, but what it involves is having a bunch of different questions, usually with two options.
Yeah,
Would you rather?
And then you can choose one or the other.
Correct. Would you rather have M&Ms or Skittles?
I think I'd have M&Ms.
M&Ms? I think I might too. Would you rather go to the beach or go to the mountains?
I think I'd go to the beach.
I think I'd go to the beach as well.
What do you think, God?
What do you think Jesus would like to do? Jesus has sandals on. He's kind of ready to go to the beach.
Yeah, I think I'd go to the beach.
As long as he wears his sunscreen, we're in good shape. Okay, so hopefully one of the grown-ups that's helping at home can either ask you these questions off of the list or cut these little words up and put them in a bowl or a jar or something. You can pick them out, and everyone can go through and say what they would rather do. And it's just a fun little activity to get you thinking and have a good time together. So hope you have fun with that, and I will see you in a bit.
Hello, welcome to our Bible story for day 2 of Staycation Bible School. Once again, our theme verse for this week comes from Isaiah 52. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of the messenger bringing good news, breaking the news that all's well, proclaiming good times, announcing salvation, telling Zion, your God reigns. So today we're going to look at the beginning of that verse, how beautiful on the mountains. The mountains are just one of the many places we can go and share God's love. So I want you to think of some other places that you have been this summer where you could share God's love. And I want you to take a second to write those around the outside of your drawing with the feet, the one where you wrote your name on the inside yesterday. So you can add any other places there. So it could be how beautiful is the beach, or how beautiful is my backyard. You could write any of those things on there. So pause your video for a second and write down all of those places where you can share God's love on the outside of your feet. Our theme phrase is awesome are your feet, they trust Jesus. So today we're thinking about trust and wondering what that word trust means. Can you think of another word that means the same thing as trust? Also, think of a person that you trust. You can name that person and you can say why you trust them. What are some things about them that make them trustworthy to you? And last, I want us to think about how we can trust Jesus. So think about that together, either with your brothers and sisters or with your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, whoever is with you. So our day 2 coloring page, today our theme is about water and storms. And so you are supposed to draw a stormy sea in your foot coloring page, and then hang it up to decorate your space. All right, our story today from the Jesus Storybook Bible starts on page 236. It looks like this, and I will give you a minute to find it. So this is the same story that I read on Sunday morning at Drive-In Church, if you were able to be there for that. So here's our story for today. The sun was going down. The air was warm and still. Let's go across the lake, Jesus said to his friends. Jesus had been helping people all day, and now he was tired. So they left the crowds at the shore and set out in a small fishing boat. Jesus climbed into the boat to take a nap. As soon as his head touched the pillow, he fell asleep. It was a beautiful evening. A gentle breeze rustled the sails. The friends were chatting happily as they headed out into the middle of the lake. Everything was perfect, just right for a nice, quiet sail. Uh-oh. They were only about halfway across when out of nowhere, whirling winds swept across the lake, fierce and strong like a hurricane. A blinding flash of lightning lit up the sky. Thunder roared right overhead. The storm blew the water into towering waves that hurled the little boat up, 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 then sent it hurtling, crashing back down, down, down. The fishing boat was blown and buffeted and tossed and turned back and forth and up and down and left and right and round and round. And in the middle of the storm, Jesus was sleeping. Now, Jesus' friends had been fishermen all their lives, but in all their years fishing on this lake, they had never once seen a storm like this one. No matter how hard they struggled with their ropes and sails, they couldn't control their boat. The storm was too big for them. But the storm wasn't too big for Jesus. "Help!" they screamed. "Wake up! Quick, Jesus!" Jesus opened his eyes. "Rescue us! Save us!" they shrieked. "Don't you care?" Of course Jesus cared, and this was the very reason he had come, to rescue them and save them. Jesus stood up and spoke to the storm. "Hush," he said. That's all, and the strangest thing happened. The wind and the waves recognized Jesus' voice. They had heard it before, of course. It was the same voice that made them in the very beginning. They listened to Jesus and they did what he said. Immediately, the wind stopped. The water calmed down. It glittered innocently in the moonlight, and lapped quietly against the side of the boat as if nothing had happened. The little boat bobbed gently up and down. There was a deep stillness and great quiet all around. Then Jesus turned to his wind-torn friends. "Why were you scared?" he asked. "Did you forget who I am? Did you believe your fears instead of me?" Jesus' friends were quiet as the wind and the waves. And into their hearts came a different kind of storm. What kind of man is this? They asked themselves anxiously. Even the winds and the waves obey him, they said, because they didn't understand. They didn't realize yet that Jesus was the Son of God. Jesus' friends had been so afraid they had only seen the big waves. They had forgotten that if Jesus was with them, they had nothing to be afraid of, no matter how small their boat or how big the storm. Some questions to think about for our Bible story today. So one of them is thinking about how tired Jesus and the disciples were at the end of the day. And it made me think that sometimes when I'm tired, I am less likely to feel happy about things or positive about things. I get a little grumpy toward the end of the day, and maybe you do too. And so maybe that made this whole experience a little bit harder because it happened at the end of the day. So at the beginning of our story, I want you to think about what Jesus was doing and what the disciples were doing. You can pause your video to talk to your family about that. So the first thing I notice is that the disciples are sailing the boat. They're worried about the storm, and Jesus is asleep. And it sounds like he can sleep through anything. So that might make us think that sometimes when we need God's help, we might think that God isn't there or is asleep or isn't paying attention. But later in the story, Jesus wakes up and he calms the storm. And he says to the disciples that they shouldn't have been afraid because he was with them all along. So today our options to respond to our story are very similar to the ones that we had yesterday. So you can either build the story if you have some Legos or some blocks, or you can act out the story with costumes and props, or you can create the story with crayons and markers or any craft supplies you have at home. And if you do any of those things, please have your mom or dad either email those to the church or text them to me so I can post them on our Facebook page. And I will see you tomorrow for day 3.
Welcome back to our second day of Staycation Bible School. I hope that your feet didn't get too tired whenever you traveled to the lake with Jesus and the disciples. Today, we'll learn about traveling on a boat and how frightened the disciples were. Jesus told them, "Take heart. It is I. Do not be afraid." They learned that they could trust Jesus, and that's pretty awesome. And that reminds me of a song that we have sung together. Let me review the words and emotions with you. It's called Awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. If you go to your Spotify app, you can sing another song about trusting in the Lord. It's called Don't Be Afraid. Have fun on today's journey.
Hi, you're back with Staycation Bible School and back to crafts with Crystal. Maybe we decided yesterday Crystal's crafts, I don't know. But I'm Miss Crystal and I'm here to show you the craft for today. So today we are learning about Jesus walking on water. That is amazing. I sometimes wish I could do things like that. But then again, I really like to swim, so I guess I'm really happy that I don't walk on water. So today we're going to pull out our craft for day 2. Today you're going to need the help of a grown-up because there is a hot iron involved. So we want to make sure that everybody stays safe and get somebody to help them with the hot part of this particular craft. So you're going to pull out your bag labeled craft day 2. Okay, mine is labeled day 2 craft. Let's not get too perstickety here. Okay, so when we open the bag, today you're going to find a string, a weird piece of paper, and this is wax paper. And it means that there's wax on it. What will we be using that for? You have your very own pencil sharpener, which you get to keep. And then there is, in the bag, a few crayons. And you're thinking, am I going to draw on the craft paper? No, we're not. We are going to make some wax crayon shavings. This sounds hard, but it's really not. The first step is super fun because we're going to get to peel the paper off the crayon. And I know when you guys have been in my class when you were little, everybody liked peeling the paper off the crayons because I always found the crayons and lots of little papers. So let's just do this together. You won't need a whole ton of it. I don't think you'll need a whole crayon's worth. So if you just want to peel it down a little bit, just till we see how much it makes. I'm doing this for the first time right now too. So we're going to learn together how this works. You want to stick the crayon in the pencil sharpener. And I know what you're thinking. It's a pencil sharpener, not a crayon sharpener. But believe it or not, this is going to work. So if you stick this crayon down in here and give it a nice hard spin, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but it's making little blue shavings for me in the bottom of this. Let me show you on my white crayon because that may actually show up a little better for you. Notice the colors of the crayons in your bag today look a little bit like watercolors, right? There's blues and whites, and that's because we're learning about Jesus walking on the water today. The theme for today, the verse for today was, "But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, 'Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid.'" And he was talking to those folks about being in the boat and being on the water and being scared. We all get scared sometimes. I know I do. And this has kind of been a weird summer, where we don't get to go as many places or maybe do as many things as we're used to. And sometimes we get a little nervous when things are different in our lives or things aren't the same as what we expect them to be from summer to summer. We're getting ready to go back to school here pretty soon, and that's going to look a little different too. That can be scary sometimes when things are changed or new. And all I want to say is, no matter what, Jesus is going to be right there with you, right beside you, making sure that you're kept safe and making sure that you feel comfortable where you are. So you always have a friend with you, no matter where you are and no matter how much things change. Okay, so we have a little bit of the white here shown. I'm going to go ahead and give this a spin. Let me hold this up to the camera a bit because I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see. Yes, I think you can see my shavings in there. It looks pretty good. Now my hands look really giant though, don't they? That's pretty hilarious. It looks like big monster hands. Okay, so that's what we want to do. You want to make a whole bunch of shavings, and I'm going to continue to do that a little while. Just so I have enough for our project. But what I'm going to do is pause the video for a minute because for the next step, I have to take my shoe off, which is hilarious. So I hope nobody minds. I didn't shower right before this, so my feet might be a little smelly. I don't know. Don't tell me if they are, though. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so well, I guess to you, I wasn't gone that long, That's probably a little funny. So what I have with me here is that funny little piece of wax paper and the marker that was in the kit that you got. So what we need to do is actually trace our foot. So I'm going to take my shoe off and I'm going to open the paper, but I'm going to leave it folded in half. Everybody see that? I'm not opening it the whole way. I'm leaving it folded in half. I'm going to put that down on the ground. Now this is going to look pretty funny, I think, because I look pretty weird trying to trace my own foot. It looks like I'm going on a race, and everybody knows I don't run unless someone's chasing me. Okay, so here we go. I've got my marker. I'm bending over, and I'm just going to trace my foot. Oh, that tickles a little bit. You'll have to let me know if yours tickled a little bit too. Now my foot is a tiny bit bigger than this paper. So your foot will not be, but there it is, tootsies and all. Okay, we're gonna pause again so that I can move back to the first area and show you how to finish this up. All right, we're getting ready to finish this right up. So here is my traced foot, and I moved all of my crayon shavings into a bag because my foot was very big on this paper. Hopefully your foot is not that big. So we put the crayons that we shaved in our pencil sharpener in a bag. And I just want to give you a tip because we had a malfunction. Make sure when you're sharpening or making your shavings that you're using the big side. There's 2 different sides on the pencil sharpeners in your kit, or if there are 2, use the bigger one. Makes it a lot easier, and we broke a crayon. Oh well. Okay, so we're going to take our shavings, and we're going to open the paper. And we're going to take a towel because we don't want anybody to have anything get ruined by melty crayon. So we'll lay down our towel. And we're going to put our open foot paper on there. And we're going to put our shavings. You can't really see that. You can see how I have it laid on there. We're going to put our shavings right inside the foot. Okay? Maybe my camera person could lift the camera a little bit to show you what I'm doing. Whoa, that made me a little bit dizzy. How about you? Making sure that I fill in my foot. Everybody see that? I'm just gonna go ahead and dump them there. We're gonna see how this works. Look, I have blue fingers already. I didn't even really finish yet. Okay, very important step for the adult helping at home. You wanna fold this wax paper over. Don't forget that step or you're gonna have a big mess on your iron. Okay, then we're gonna fold the towel on top. We've made a little foot sandwich. That sounds great. Okay, we're gonna take our hot iron, and remember, this is the part for your adult to help you with, or maybe an old enough brother, sister, as long as your adult says that's okay. All right, so we're gonna take the iron helpers, and we're gonna press that all down. And what's gonna happen is that the heat from the iron, hopefully, if this works right, will melt those little crayon shadings that you made. And I hope that that works because it's going to look really cool if it does. At least I think so. I'm going to take a peek, but I'm not going to show you yet. Oh, we're not done yet. I think it needs to be hotter. I don't know. Okay, we're ironing and I'm pressing. Oh, we're not anywhere near melted yet. I think maybe our iron needs to be a bit hotter than what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this up, get the iron hotter, and finish ironing it, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Okay, give me 1 second.
Hi everyone, it's time for day 2 of Where in the World is Flat Jesus, and today we are going to talk about the Presbyterian Disaster Assistance Team, also known as the PDA. Their motto is, out of chaos comes hope. And doesn't that kind of sound like Jesus calming the storm? What that means is whenever there's a lot of craziness and uncertainty or chaos, we can be kind of scared and nervous about what's to come. But the Presbyterian Disaster Assistance Team provides hope of better days, just as Jesus came along and calmed the storm. So whenever there's any kind of a disaster in the world, people from Presbyterian Disaster Assistance, they're mobilized. They go to that disaster area to help physically, emotionally, just support the people in need in any possible way. And one of the ways that the Presbyterian Disaster Assistance is supported is through funds from one great hour of sharing, and specifically our fish banks. And because we've been home for so long, most of you probably still have your fish banks at home. But this is another example of how little people and coins, little bits of money can all add up and really make a big difference for people. So just remember that every time you're using your fish bank, putting money in your fish bank, that all of that adds up. It can really make a huge difference and provide a lot of hope for people that are in need. So today, if you have some time, spend some time with a grown-up in your home, and look at the website, the Presbyterian Disaster Assistance website. That information's all in your packet, and see if you can name 4 places in the world where the PDA is currently responding or helping, and discover 3 types of disasters that they respond to, whether it's earthquakes, floods, something like that. And the PDA says there are 3 ways you can help them do their work. So see if you can find out what those 3 ways are and discuss those with the people in your house. And then as a family, see if you would like to choose one of the 3 ways to support PDA. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's give, act, and pray. So you'll learn a little bit more about that. And choose one of the ways that you think your family may be able to help. There are a lot of great suggestions as to how a family can respond without going on a big trip somewhere. But it might require a trip to the store for some supplies. So again, that'll be something that will be led by whatever grown-up is helping you this week with your Staycation Bible School. So you have your journals. You can mark down more of the information that you learned about the PDA, draw a picture of some of the places that they're helping, whatever notes you want to make, whatever drawings you want to draw, put in your journal to kind of document again what we've been doing this week. And then the other thing is, don't forget that if you have picked a travel buddy, someone who's not necessarily at your house, a friend, grandparent, anybody that you are kind of keeping up to date about what we're doing every day at Staycation Bible School, make sure they know about the PDA and see if they're interested in helping as well. And one of the biggest things we can do is pray to support these people that are doing these big jobs around the world. Include that as a part of your daily prayers, and that goes a long, long way. So enjoy your Reflect Jesus. Put some good things in your journal, and I hope you learn more about the PDA. Okay, so it's the end of the second day of Staycation Bible School. So if everyone wants to gather together and light their candles, turn them on, whatever. We're going to say a little closing prayer. And this is a good time to kind of sit with the people in your house and talk about the things that you've learned tonight. Share something new that you learned. And we're going to close with a prayer, okay? So if everyone wants to bow their heads and close their eyes. We thank you, Jesus, for this day. As we followed you along the way, we will travel day and night to follow you and share your light. Help us journey far and near to share God's love with all who hear. Amen. All right, so I hope you enjoyed day 2. Get some rest, be kind, and I will see you tomorrow.